This is the greatest workout masterclass you will ever see. In this video, if you're someone that works a lot, owns a business, top performer at work, and you simply don't have the time to spend 7 days a week at the gym, 2 hours each time, you keep trying to do that and you keep falling off the wagon, you don't like cardio, you travel all the time for work or for pleasure, and you simply want one thing. You want to burn the most amount of fat, build the most amount of muscle in the least amount of time to build a body that you love and that ultimately you can keep for the rest of your life. I'm going to show you how to design the ultimate 3-day workout guide, or however little or much you can allocate for time, so you can start building muscle right away. And if that's you, buckle up. During this video, how we're going to do that is I'm going to walk you through the science of how to actually build the most amount of muscle. I'm going to destroy any myths about time that you think it requires and what to actually do to continue building muscle when you don't have time. I'm going to be showing you guys exactly what muscles to focus on to build your dream body and what to avoid when listening to stupid fitness advice online that doesn't apply to you. I'm going to be walking you guys through live workout examples of what works and what doesn't work, so it actually clicks in your mind. And at the end of this video, I'm going to be giving you guys the exact workout plan that I've given some of my busiest clients that have owned their own businesses and simply don't have the time themselves. So you can actually plug and play that workout plan directly in your own life. And I'll give you invitation and access to my free private fitness community where you can get access to all the courses that I'm launching absolutely free for a limited amount of time. So if that's you, buckle up, get ready, take some notes, and we're going to dive deep. I'm going to give you the greatest exercise plan for busy professionals. And I can actually promise that because I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not someone that's jacked out of their minds. I'm simply just a normal dude. I went from being overweight, depressed, and low energy myself, working at a 9-to-5 job, to actually proud of showing off my body, brimming with energy, all while working a job just like you guys. So if this is you, please keep watching, because after I did it for myself, I did it for all my friends, got them all jacked. And now I'm going to give you the strategy to building the greatest exercise plan ever. Now, why do I say this is the greatest workout video? Because I'll tell you what it's not. This video is not another video telling you about how many reps to do and what exercises to do, because there's a million videos on that, and those don't make the difference. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you the fundamental science and levers of how to build muscle in the areas you'd like, so you can design a plan that makes the most sense for you. And then I'm going to teach you how to tweak it in a way where it can fit and integrate into your life. Because you know what I know? After staying jacked, I've been this shape for the last 7 years. So I know a thing or two about keeping a body that's sustainable. Is that the greatest workout plan you can do by definition is the one you do forever. Which means it's not a PDF. It's not the plan that I do. It's not the plan that Joe does across the street. It's not the plan that Nancy's husband does. It's the plan that you do forever. So if you're a business owner, a high performer, I'm gonna explain the science. It's gonna click in your head, and then you get to make the decision for yourself. So how the heck can you build muscle? All right. When you come to building muscle, it's a 3-prong approach. These are the 3 levers, and you can only pick 2. Okay. You've seen these type of diagrams before, right? In muscle growth, you got intensity, which is really how hard you push on each set of an exercise. You got frequency. So how often in a week you hit that muscle group. So you could do the classic bro split where you hit chest on Monday, and then it takes 7 days to hit chest again. Or you can break up the volume. So you're doing chest on Monday, you're doing chest on Thursday, you're hitting it twice a week. It's a changing frequency. And then you got volume. Volume is the total amount of sets you do on that exercise across the session or the week. So now you got these little knobs, but here's the thing. You can only pick 2. So let's give an example. Let's put this into practical terms. If you're someone like what I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you're working a lot, time is really a big factor, right? You just don't have the time to spend 7 days a week, 2 hours a day at the gym. Well, okay, got that. So you want to build the most amount of muscle, right? And you don't have the time. So what do we do here? Well, frequency is the amount of times you can hit that muscle group, right? So frequency ultimately has been decided for you, which is a little nice. So if the frequency has now lowered, that means we have to actually bring up volume and intensity. So now, how hard you work out in the gym must be high. Let me give you an example. So this is an example of me lifting at the gym very recently. I'll turn off the audio. So when you're performing a set, it's all about understanding how to take that set to intensity. So what does intensity actually look like? There's this point in the lift where you start to get fatigued, right? You can notice the speed at which I'm performing these reps. It's pretty constant. Now it starts to slow down. And it gets hard. My mind starts to scream, stop, that's enough. You can't do anymore, right? These are all the cues we get on a daily basis. We've all experienced this at the gym. We've all been there. Now, intensity is getting to that point and then going beyond it, right? And so where most people stop is they stop right here, because how they were lifting, and this might not be the best example because I'm actually doing a low rep set. Let me give you an example of a higher rep set. Right? Right? This is slow. This is controlled. This is very easy. Right? But the minute it gets hard for us, like there, we're getting so many inputs. Mind saying stop, body saying stop. It's uncomfortable. And then we stop. Now, intensity looks like, and you're telling me you could actually stop here and not be intense if you're able to go to the gym 7 days a week. Because keep in mind, intensity gets lowered. You go to frequency and volume. You're hitting it more often, right? But it's going past that point and getting effective reps. This is when you're starting to tell your body the signal, I know you're tired. I know you can't go any further. And so I'm going to push you beyond your limits. So that was true intensity, because the speed of the set was slower, right? And eventually we got to a point where I actually could not perform another set even if I liked to. And you can see here, okay, that was a full set. Now I'm in my effective rep range. This is really where the muscle growth happens. And I tried, and I stopped. Why did I stop? Because you also want to maintain the integrity of your form, right? So many times you see guys at the gym that are like lifting, and they're lifting intense, but they're not even lifting the right muscle. So the cousin of intensity is also accuracy. How many reps can you do at high intensity where you're also lifting the right muscle group? And you're maintaining accuracy and form. Because if you don't honor these things, guess what happens? Injury. And that's the worst case scenario. Keep in mind, the real question we're asking ourselves is, how do we actually maintain progress for a lifetime? How do you maintain a physique for a lifetime? If you get injured, your physique's going to go to shit because you're not eating right, you're not going to the gym, your endorphins aren't high, and your motivation drops. So that's intensity, right? So if you're someone in the pocket of not being able to go 5 times a week, 7 days a week, you can go 3 days a week, bringing that level of intensity. Now let's look at another exercise of intensity. And I really want you to click on this because after training hundreds of people, I know that this is something that takes a long time for people to understand. But when they understand it, the amount of time they go to the gym cuts in half. Another way to say it is going to failure, right? Truly going to failure. Do you really go to this level of failure? That's a real push. And I stopped because I couldn't go anymore. All right, that's my limit. Next thing is frequency. This is how often you go to the gym, which you know. And if that knob goes down, then total sets or volume for that muscle group has to go up. So instead of 6 sets in a workout, frequency goes down. Now you have to hit 10 sets in a workout, right? Does that make sense? 10 to 12. That's the range. All right. Now you understand that. You're starting to probably think about the levers. We're not designing the plan yet. The next step in designing your plan is listen to the right people, right? If you want to look a certain way, then listen to the people that look that way. A lot of times we go on bodybuilder.com or finding these templates on YouTube, and it's designed by people we don't even want to look like, that are going to the gym with a different level of frequency and a different level of volume than we are. And then we get mad at ourselves why we can't actually meet those criteria. It's crazy. It's nonsense. I'll never get advice from someone I don't want to become. Now, if you want what we call a movie star physique, the wide shoulders, V taper, really ask yourself the question, why do I like this physique? Well, obviously the things that come with it. Ladies love it. It's athletic. It seems functional. And it's attainable. Because actually the science behind getting a physique like this, if you've had any weightlifting experience, is mostly a fat loss game and a muscle building game at the same time. But most of these guys are just so low body fat percentage. And then it just comes down to filling out the muscles that make them them. So if you want to look like this, which is exactly what I wanted to look like, by the way, same thing. You got to focus on the muscle groups that actually contribute to that. This is when you can start to now unpackage. If you know the end goal, now you can reverse engineer, well, what are the muscle groups to train, right? This is not about a PDF yet. You got to get curious. Well, what is it that creates that definition? Well, I can see here, we got the shoulders, the deltoid. You got the anterior head. You got the middle head and the posterior head. So as I rotate the body around, I can see how that muscle wraps all the way around to the back. And you got the width on the side, and you got the front. Okay, interesting. So I'm going to have to actually make sure to prioritize those type of muscles. Okay, thickness of the traps. You know, football players, people that really have that thicker neck, they got a more athletic, top-heavy physique. We got the obliques on the sides, serratus anterior, external oblique, rectus abdominis, and the tenae. I don't even know what the hell that one is. So I guess it doesn't really matter because I got the physique, right? And when you flip it on the backside, you got the lats. Where is it? The latissimus dorsi lats. So when you really reverse engineer the body, now you know what muscle groups you need to hit to apply this pillar to. Right? So now you know the muscle groups. Now you know the pillar. You're starting to connect these things a bit more. Do you create the plan now? No. And you need to be present to your constraints. So if you have a schedule like this, which is what one of my CTO clients did, he owns 2 different companies, CTO of 2 different companies. This was his schedule. So this is what's really going to get you present to, well, how often can you go to the gym today? Because it's not about going into a cave, leaving your family, and quitting your job. As much as sometimes we think that's the path, it's about integrating into the lifestyle we have. We have too many people that depend on us. Family, business. So if you only have time to hit 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week, accept it. Get honest with yourself. Because then you can actually, only then, can you get present to, okay, frequency is 30 minutes. Sorry, 3 times a week. Volume is only 30 minutes. What do you think has to happen if those are your constraints and you want to build muscle? Oops. You better believe intensity is your middle name. And you're lifting with the right accuracy and form so that you can be there for your kids and your business. Because if you rip your shoulder tendon, you're not building muscle and you're not a good leader. This part is the part that most people miss on. They just don't manage the constraints. And that's why at the beginning, I wanted to get you present to this pillar to recognize nothing's wrong with going to the gym 3 days a week. In fact, if that's what you want to do, here's the impact of that and what you really need to do to pick up the slack. If you guys are interested, I'm happy to post way more videos on intensity when I'm coaching my clients and what I do for myself and the mindset and the mental cues to actually recognize when you're in the pocket. Because when you get there, that's actually when the endorphins kick in. All right. So I already promised I'm going to give you the template and the actual workout plan I've prescribed some of my busiest clients. It's a 3-day workout plan. It only takes 30 minutes a week. And to get access to this guide yourself so you can actually apply it in your own life, there's a link below in the video description. You get access to it in my free private community. Once you've requested to join, in the classroom section, this is where all the courses I launch are directly from the feedback from you guys. And these are free courses that I used to charge my clients. I'm giving it to you guys for free now. So if you go to the bottom, you'll see a 3-day Beachbody workout, right? And there will be a download link at the bottom. They'll walk you through everything you need to do. And now I'm going to walk you through it. There's even an exercise library I have. When you open up the workout guide, you will notice that there's some interesting numbers in here. First of all, if you want to understand what the hell this is, there's a video where I walk you through it. And I'll walk you through the structure. But if I take a step back, you'll notice, looks like there's places where I get to enter stuff. That's interesting. I've gone my whole life just lifting weights. You know, if I really thought about it and I asked you, how long have you been lifting the weights you're currently lifting? You might say a year, 2 years. And so the real idea you need to understand, and this is the final piece, the nail in the coffin, for you to have the promise of the ultimate 3-day workout guide, to really be able to lift for just 3 days a week and have massive results. Because you can't just do it willy-nilly. You have to meet certain criteria. The science of building muscle is you have to understand your progress. And most of us walk around unconscious day to day. We don't even know what we're eating. So obviously, when we go to the gym, we're not present to what we're lifting. But when we bring in this principle and we design a program around our constraints of time, then we can actually choose between frequency and volume. And we can say maybe 30 minutes twice a week versus 1 hour once. Or, hey, I can't really commit to 45 minutes. I'm going to have to up the intensity. Then you've designed workout programs around the look that you really want to create, right? So now you're hitting the muscle groups that really matter for the actual end goal that you want. No, then you design a plan to hit those muscles that actually give you that V taper. And normally this is where most people stop, right? But the final key missing piece is, okay, now you're doing the right exercises. You're actually in the gym for as long as you need to. But how do you make sure you're actually building muscle on a week-to-week basis now? You're hitting the right muscles, but you're not necessarily activating them. Now that's about tracking your weight, tracking your reps. What's the weight that I did for the seated quad extension? And also, just conveniently, I've put videos on how to do all these exercises so you can watch. Seated quad extension machine. And how much weight, how many reps? Next week, you've eaten right, you've slept right. If you did 135 pounds for 8 reps, and I gave you a range of 6 to 8 reps, I've literally told you how much to do. Now, when you do 135, this is a bad example because I said the range is 6 to 8. So let's say you did 6. 135, can you do 7? Can you do 8? And this is the crazy thing about the human mind. When you give it a single focused benchmark, you'll be shocked at how powerful your body is. Normally, intensity is a concept. And we deal with the emotions day to day of, it hurts, I don't want to go any farther. But you ever notice you get stronger when you have someone yelling in your ear? Or you have a friend that you're competing with? How cool would it be if you could compete with yourself? When you look at the ghost, the former ghost of yourself from last week, said the best he could do is 6. I'm going to beat that. And as you're in the lift, instead of being run by the mind saying, I'm in pain, it hurts, we should stop, you're motivated and inspired by literally setting a personal record, the strongest set of your life every single time. And at the end of the day, this is what it looks like. Let me show you mine. You got a stacked list. and you go, well, last week I did 35 for 6. Now I did 35 for 7, 25 for 6, 25 for 6. Okay. 185 for 8. Then I upped it. 195 for 4, right? As you go up in the weight, then the reps have to drop before you build it back up. And you just look over the course of time and you start noticing I'm trending in the right direction. Now, I'm an Excel guy because I like building stuff on the fly and really customizing stuff. But I also understand the value of people loving something better user experience, an app, right? And so this brings us to the final point of how do you actually want to track your lifts? Do you want to do it in a spreadsheet? Because I do have the spreadsheet that you can make a copy of, right? And you can either watch this video or you can just literally say file, make a copy. Or you can actually use one of the beautiful fitness apps out there. There's two that really come to mind. There's an app called Strong, and it's a workout tracker and gym log. Basically, similar idea. You program in for yourself. They have an exercise library. What are the exercises you want to do? What are the reps and sets? And it's kind of like a sheet, but it looks really nice. You can also manage your rest on it. So you're literally just like clockwork tracking this in, plugging in some numbers. You go so hard to intensity, you need to rest. It sets the timer and you're just in a flow state at the gym, right? Now, there's Strong, and there's a free and a paid version. And then there's also another one called Heavy. Now, both of these apps offer some type of free trial. Heavy is very similar. I've actually used Heavy more so. Honestly, similar exact concept, just slightly different look. You can see the workout form videos that they have there. You can choose your rest timer. They have an iPhone app or an Apple Watch app. And it really shows you when you've actually progressed. Now, why am I not getting into the details here? Because that's, once again, not the promise of this video. The promise is to really get you in the mindset of taking ownership of your own journey. If you want to use Excel sheets, I got you. If you want to be part of Heavy or Strong, take a look at them. They're both doing the exact same thing. One is not better than the other. And if you want to be part of my own workout program where I get to actually manage your progress, well, let me give you a quick taste. And the beautiful thing about the system that I have in place is it's all about simplicity. You know, the thing about Strong and Heavy, these are workout trackers, right? And if you understand about body transformation, you understand you got to hit all the points. So workout is just one part of the bigger picture. You got to make sure your nutrition is right. You got to make sure your workouts are right. And you got to make sure your actual metrics of success are aligned with the direction you want to go. So in my fitness app, I have a dashboard where I can see what my clients are eating. So this is on the nutrition side. You get to see their food. You get to see what they're eating, if they're hitting their markers that I get to assign. But even specifically in the actual lifts, I can program lifts for my clients uniquely, and I can get metrics on how is their actual active calories and their heart rate. And we can actually see over time how they are progressing. This is the first week for this client. So we just got the benchmarks of where they're at. But it's the exact same experience as Strong and Heavy. The only difference is now it's in my ecosystem. You have one app to manage your food, your progress photos, your actual metrics of success, right? All these metrics that ultimately I am managing for you. The last part is this is actually what the workout program can look like. You got your 3 to 5 sets, you got your videos. That's if you want someone else to manage your progress for you. If you want to do it yourself, then yes, please proceed. All right, guys. Hope this was a kick-ass training. I'll see y'all later.